So I'm Sir Isaac Newton. If you have been watching physics videos, math videos, I believe you can be able to relate. I think just the voice. So we're going to start with this question. This question is from your throw sheet, and the question is saying solve for x. It is actually a question. This question, someone who is in grade 12, I think they can solve it. I'm going to solve only two questions, that is A and B. Then I believe you can do B and C, B and D. So we are solving the equation. Now, I think you guys can solve this question. Nothing is complicated here. So this question, the way it is here, the best way what I can do is I need to simplify this part. Then now I cross multiply. I can't cross multiply direct here because there is 4 here. Okay? So what we're going to do is you can mute yourself. If you have got a question, then you are going to unmute yourself. You get my point, okay? So just mute yourself. If you have got a question, then you unmute yourself, you can ask. So we have 2x plus 7. We divide it by 3 minus 4 is equal to x minus 7. We divide it by 4. Let's simplify this. We divide this by 1. The common denominator is 3. Simple. So 3 into 3 is 1. 1 times everything on top here, that becomes 2x plus 7. 1 into 3 is 3. 3 times negative 4 on top there, that is minus 12. This should be equal to x minus 7. We divide it by 4. Now, when you reach at this point, that's when now you can cross multiply, because this 3 is now scattering not almost, but it's scattering everything on top. The reason why we didn't cross multiply at first is because this 3 was not part of 4. So now at this point I can cross multiply. As simple as that. Now when I want to cross multiply here, guys, it's something that is simple. If I cross multiply 4 times everything this side is going to be 4 open brackets 2, but I know that 7 and 12, they are together. So 7 minus 12, what is 7 minus 12? I remember when I was in my first year, math we don't use calculator, but physics we use a calculator, not so. But again, I went to a certain shop, then someone was asking me, I gave them 100 kwacha, I bought something which is, I think it was worth 16 kwacha. 16 kwacha, then they said, no, I don't know how to calculate. So I said, you have got a calculator, so if you have got a calculator, just use the calculator for the sake of, we want to solve this fast. So 7 minus 12, that is negative what? Negative 5, but we don't use the calculator. That's what you need to know. We don't use the calculator for math. This should be equal to 3. So I'm multiplying this now by that. That becomes x minus 7. I believe we're okay here. So if we multiply here 4 times 2, that is 8x minus 4 times 5, that is 20. 3 times x, that is 3x. 3 times 7, that is 21. We want to find the value of what? We want to find the value of x. So this will go to the other side. That is going to be minus 3x. Then this guy will go to the other side. That is going to be minus negative 21 plus 20. That becomes 5x is equal to negative 1. Divide both sides by 5. Even here by 5. Therefore, x is equal to neg 1 over 5. Do you think this is difficult, guys? Let's interact. Do you think this is difficult? It's not, right? So choose which one should I solve. Now we have got B, C, D. I want to solve one. Then I'm going to leave 2. You are going to solve 2 and you are going to send the answer to me. So which one should I solve now? We have remained with this, and that. Choose one. Which one should I solve? Guys, choose one. Let's do fast. Time is not with us. Okay. B. Which one should I solve for you? Don't be scared. This one. Okay. Let's solve this one. Now, this question is very simple. What we are supposed to do here, guys, is simple and straightforward. So I have first to expand this guy. Then I need also to expand this part. So now if you have got x plus 1 raised to the power 2, it's the same as x plus 1 and also x plus 1. Okay, so now what I'm trying to expand here is this. I'm going to rewrite this expression as 4x minus 3. I put them in brackets, then x plus 1, then minus, this one is going to be x plus 1, then x plus 1, then should be equal to 1 minus 3x. What I have written here is basically the same as that. Okay, so there we go. Let's now expand. So 4x times x, that is 4x to the power 2, 4x times 1, that is 4x, then negative 3 times x, that is negative 3x, negative 3 times positive 1, that is 3. We are good to go. We are following. Now, here is the issue. This negative is going to affect everything. Now put a big bracket. So you say x times x, that is x squared, x times 1, that is x, then 1 times x, that is x, then 1 times 1, that is 1. You put a big bracket because this negative is going to affect everything inside there. That should be equal to 1 minus 3x. So now these two can be added. So therefore I'll remain with x squared. These two I'll have x minus 3. Now remember, here inside here, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open the brackets. But if I add this and this is going to be x squared. Now it's more like I have got this x squared plus 2x plus 1, like that. So now I'm opening the bracket. So the negative is going to affect everything. That becomes this minus 1, like that. Then this should be equal to 1 minus 3x. When I've reached at this point, anyone who is behind, be free, let's interact. Let's interact. Let's interact, let's interact, let's interact. Okay, no one is behind, right? Okay, I'll proceed. Now from here I can clearly see that this and this can be added. And this is going to give me 4 minus 1, that is 3x squared. Not so. Then again, this guy and this guy can be added. That is going to give me, it's going to give me what? Negative 1, negative x. Then this guy and this guy can be added. That is going to be negative 4. Then 1 minus 3x. So this is a quadratic equation. I'm going to shift everything this side to go to the other side. So I'll have 3x squared minus x. So I'll shift this. So this is going to be plus 4 plus 3x. Plus 3x minus 4, then minus 1 should be equal to 0. Who is behind up to that point? Are we together? Or someone is behind? If we are together, then what we are going to do now is this. This guy and this guy can be added, and that is going to be plus 2x, this guy is going to be minus 5. So the product is negative 15, because product we multiply this times that, so we have got 0 here. The product is negative 15, then the sum is positive 2. What are the factors? What are the factors? So the factors will be positive 5 and negative 3. Positive 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Then if I add this and that, it will give me this. So these are the product. Now when I do this, the next thing that I have to do is 3x. I'm writing this now. I'm going to replace this with the factors. So plus 5x minus 3x minus 5 should be equal to 0. I'll factor out x for the first one. I'll remain with 3x plus 5. Then here I'll factor out 1. I'll remain with 3x. Then negative and negative will give me positive. That is like that. Then I don't have enough space. I can create space this side, but I don't know if we have anyone who is behind. So if I create space on top there, then I can clearly see that I'll have x. So you write only these ones like that. Then 3x minus or plus 5 should be equal to 0. Now we want to solve for x. X minus 1 is equal to 0, comma 3x plus 5 is equal to 0, meaning that if I shift 1 to the other side, x is equal to 1. And also if I shift 5 to the other side, then I divide it by 3, x will be equal to negative 5 over 3. Now you guys, I want you to go ahead and solve this, and I'll be waiting for the answers. We can solve, okay? Hello. We can solve. Okay. So I want us to talk now. Let's talk about how to determine the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation without solving the equation. Okay. Now there is what we call discriminant. Discriminant. So perhaps in grade 8, I don't know if it's grade 7 or grade 8 or grade 9, you came across this quadratic equation formula. Sometimes you don't understand when we say discriminant, but it comes from here. Now, what determines the roots is what is in the square root. Now, what is in the square root is what we call the discriminant. So what is in the square root is b squared minus 4ac. That is what is going to determine the what? The nature of the quadratic function. Now, what happens there is simple. Quadratic equation, sorry. What happens there, guys, is simple. In the square root, if I have got something that is negative, maybe 4, what I'm going to have is, if you punch using a calculator, it's going to give you math error. But in that case, we are going to have what? The answer that we're going to have is going to have complex solution. Okay? It's going to have I, like in this case, it's going to be 2i. So this is what we call now the discriminant. Now how can you determine the nature of the roots? So this is what I want to show you. So we use what we call discriminant. Now discriminant, we use b squared. So b squared minus 4ac. If you find that when you plug in the answers, now it is in the form of, we have got ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, if you plug in the values and you find that the answer is less than 0, okay, then you are going to have what we call complex roots. Complex roots, or in other words, you can say not real roots. Okay, but in most cases we use this complex roots. Now if you discover that b squared minus 4ac is giving you 0, you plug in the values, then you are getting the answer as 0. In that case, you have got only one root, one real root. That's what you need to know. Then if you have b squared minus 4ac, if it is greater than 0, you have got 2. You have got 2 real and distinct roots. What does it mean? You are going to have 2 real roots. Here we said if it is equal to 0, you are going to have 1 real root. But if it is greater than 0, you are going to have 2 real, but they are going to be different. That's why we are saying 2 real and distinct roots. Okay? They are going to be real, but they are going to be different. That's what it means. Okay? So these are the things that we use for us to determine the nature of the quadratic equation. Okay? So they ask you, without solving the equation, determine the nature of the quadratic function or the quadratic equation. You use this. Now, if you look at the first question, I'm going to solve 2, then I'm going to leave 2 for you. Okay? So I want you guys to tell me what I should solve for you. Just choose 2 fast. We do fast because time is not with us. We need to solve a lot of questions. Which questions do you want me to solve for you? A and B. We solve D. So I solve A and D. Then you are going to solve B and C, and I'm waiting for the answers, right? Okay. So the discriminant, remember, we are saying b squared minus 4ac. Now, we don't know whether it's going to be equal to 0, less than 0, or greater than 0. Now, a is equal to 2. The coefficient which has got x squared, that is always a. Anything that is going to have just x, not squared, that is going to be our b. So in this case, our b is -1. The coefficient of x in this case is -1. Then my c is the part that doesn't have x, meaning that is 5. Okay? So now, when we do this, what we should know is you just need to plug in the values. That's all. Nothing. Just plug in the values. When you plug in the values, then you find the answer. So let's plug in the values. What is our b? Our b is -1. So -1 squared, -1 squared, then minus 4, a is 2, then c, that 1. So let's see. -1 squared is 1, minus 4 times 2, that is 8. 8 times 5. What is 8 times 5? Is it 40? It's 40. So 1 minus this, that is -39. What will be your conclusion? Now, this is less than 0. So -39 is less than 0. So what will be the conclusion? I said if it's less than 0, so it's complex roots. So if it is less than 0, you have complex roots. Don't forget this. It will always be there in your test, in your exam, in your quiz. These are basics. If it is equal to 0, we have got 1 real roots. If it is greater than 0, you have got 2. They are real, but and what? Distinct. They are different. They are real, but they are going to be different. They're not going to. So we have got 2 distinct real roots. So you can say 2 distinct real roots. Okay. Now we have solved that one. Now let's go ahead and also solve part what? Which one did you say I should solve? D, right? So D, let's first identify A. Who can identify A for me? So you just get the coefficient. So what is m? -3, right? What is b? What is b? Are you sure it's 0? Okay, yeah. So we don't have, so it's 0. Then c is 4. So now remember, b squared minus 4ac. B is 0. So you square it, minus 4. A is -3. C is 4. So we have 0 minus. So minus minus will give me positive, right? That is going to be, now is 12. So 12 times 4, 48, eh? So is 48 less than 0, equal to 0, or greater than 0? Greater than 0. So the conclusion is two distinct real roots. That's the conclusion. Go ahead and solve part B and C, and I'll be waiting for the answers. Now, let's go to the next question. I want you to choose 3 questions. I'm going to leave 2, but choose 3 that I'm supposed to solve for you, then 2 you are going to do it for yourself. So choose fast. Which one should I solve for you? C. Someone is saying C. What else? Just choosing questions, guys. You are failing to choose questions. C. E. What else? D. B or D? D. Okay, let's start with. Can I start with D? Then I'll go to E. Then I'll solve C. It's okay, right? Okay. So the question is determine K so that the given equation will have the stated property, and write the resulting equation. So if we need to find K, when we find K, then we need to plug in the value of K so that we get the equation. As simple as that. Now let's start with part D. Part D is saying 2x squared minus 3kx plus 2k, or plus 5k is equal to 5. Is equal to 0, sorry. So they are saying it has got one root twice the other. Now, when we're talking about roots, you can mute yourself, because you'll be disturbing your friends. Yes, just mute yourself. I don't know if you don't know how to mute yourself. So, what should I do? Let's mute our mics. Okay. So, they are saying that it has got one root twice the other. So, we are going to assume that the root we are talking about is alpha. Okay. The root we are talking about is alpha. But they are saying that the other root is twice the other. So when you say twice, what does it mean? Meaning, so we have got alpha, and initially it's supposed to be alpha and beta. Whenever we're talking about roots, we have got alpha and beta. Now in this case, it's going to be a bit different, because alpha and beta in this case, they are different things. But the question is, it has got one root twice the other. So it's the same one, but the other one is twice the other. So I have got alpha, so twice the other meaning is 2 alpha. That's what it means. Okay, so now this 2 alpha, it is representing beta. That's all, nothing complicated there. Now remember, when we have this, when we have this, we have got a squared, ax squared plus bx plus c. We know that whenever we're talking about the roots, we're talking about, we have got sum and product. So the sum is alpha plus beta, that is going to be negative b over a, you know about that. The product is alpha times beta is equal to c over a. That's what we're going to be doing. Now our goal is to find the value of k. Simple as that. We want to find the value of k. Now let's go ahead and do that. So we want to find the value of k. So we have been told that one root is going to be twice the other. So then let's first find the what? The sum. So the sum is, we know that the sum is alpha plus beta, but in this case beta is 2 alpha, because the roots that we are dealing with now is alpha and 2 alpha. So then I'll say this is 2 alpha is equal to negative b over a. Now let's replace. Alpha plus 2 alpha is 3 alpha. So then b in this case, let's now have a is equal to, this is my a, which is 2. My b, the part having x is b. So my b is negative 3k. Then my c is the part that doesn't have x, that is 5k. Okay, that is my c, sorry, not my b. So now let's replace b. b is negative 3. Yes, please. But you are okay with this part where I said the sum we use this, then the product we use this? Yes. So now the question is 2x squared. So the question is, we want to find the value of k, where 2x squared minus 3kx plus 5k is equal to 0 has one root twice the other. So it's a same root. So it's more like if I get r, it's a same root, but the other one is going to be twice the other. So that's the reason why I'm not using beta. You get my point, right? Yes, so that's the reason why I'm not using. So where there is beta, because we are saying is twice the other, I'm going to replace that beta with the twice the other, which is 2 alpha. So now alpha plus 2 alpha, I'll get 3 alpha. Then now b, we have already found that b is negative 3k. Then a is 2. Okay? Now, remember we want to find the value of k, but in this case, because alpha has appeared, I need another equation. So now that's when I'll go to product. So the product is alpha times beta, but beta in that case is 2 alpha. So it will be alpha times 2 alpha is equal to c over a. So alpha times 2 alpha, it is 3, not 3, but it is 2 alpha squared. That should be equal to, what is my c? My c is 5k. My a is 2. Does that make sense? Now, I have got two equations. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Now I no longer need this part. So if you have got a question, you can just ask. Now at this point, remember, I need to find a way on how I'm going to eliminate alpha. So I can make alpha as a subject of the formula for the first equation, which is this one. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So that becomes alpha negative 3k. If I divide this by 3, is 3 times 2. So 3 and 3 can go, and I'll remain with alpha is equal to negative k divided by 2. Now in the second equation, where there is alpha, I will replace negative k over 2. Wow. Interesting, right? So I'll say 2 open brackets negative k over 2, now it is squared, is equal to 5k over 2. When I reach at this point, I can now open the brackets or removing the brackets. That is going to be 2k negative k squared, it is k squared, then 2 squared is 4, is going to be equal to 5k over 2. Now 2 there 1, 2 here 2. Then I've remained with, I don't have enough space. I think I can get rid of this part. So what I've remained with now is k squared divided by 2 is equal to 5k divided by 2. But I don't know if I can confuse someone if I cancel these two direct, or what I can do, I can just cross multiply. So that becomes 2k squared is equal to 2 times 5, that is going to give me 10k. So I can divide both sides by 2, meaning that 2 will go here, I'll remain with 5. So it is k squared is equal to 5k. Now at this point, what I can do is I can shift 5 to go to the other side, or just dividing everywhere by k. But let's just do this. This will be more like a quadratic equation now. So I can factor out k. I'll remain with k minus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore k is equal to 0, and also k minus 5 is equal to 0, meaning that k should be equal to 5. Now the question is, after finding the value of k, we need to write now the result. So what you do is you have 2. So the first thing, I'll replace k with 0. So that will be, my equation is going to be I will replace where there is k with 0, meaning I've got 2x squared minus 3, where there is k, let's put 0, x, then plus 5, where there is k, we put 0, is equal to 0. This will give me 0, this will give me 0, therefore we'll have 2x squared is equal to 0. That will be the first result. The second result, where there is k, put 5. So what you do is 2x squared minus 3, where there is k, put 5, then x plus 5, where there is that, put that one, is equal to 0. So you have 2x squared minus 15x plus 25 is equal to 0. So this is the result. Who is confused? Okay, so what you should do is, if you are not able to see the screen, that should be maybe due to network problem. So what you are supposed to do, you can just leave the meeting, then join fast. You leave, then after seconds, just join. Then you'll be able to see the screen. So if anyone is not able to see the screen, you can just leave the meeting fast, then join again. Okay. Now, let us look at part E. Let us look at part E. So part E is saying 3x squared plus open brackets k minus 1. You have got a question? Okay. So they are saying that we have got equal roots, we have got equal and opposite. So we have got one root, we have got two roots, but they are the same. So for example, let's say if the root is 2, then the other one will be opposite, is going to be negative 2. So let's choose now alpha. So if you have got alpha, meaning that another one will be negative alpha. The question is, they are equal, but they are equal and opposite. They are the same, but they are just opposite, meaning that the other one is going to have negative. So when it comes for sum, remember, sum is alpha plus beta, which is going to be negative b over a. Now a in that case is 3, b in that case is k minus 1 in the brackets. That is b. Listen, guys. From the question, they are the same, because here if I use alpha and beta and alpha, they are not the same. So I need to replace where there is beta with negative alpha. So that is going to be alpha plus negative alpha. Then this now is going to be negative, then k minus 1 divided by 3. So this one now is going to be alpha minus alpha is equal to negative k plus 1. I've opened the brackets, divided by 3. So negative alpha minus alpha is 0. At this point you can cross multiply. So 0 times 3 is 0. Then here there is 1. 1 times what I have on top here, it will give me the same, is equal to 0. Therefore negative k is equal to negative 1 divided by negative 1, negative 1. K is equal to 1. Who is behind? So the value of k for part E is 1. Okay, let me repeat. 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 But do you know that have you ever attended math, especially physics? When you are attending physics, and then they are trying to explain Newton's laws of motion, but you're not getting anything. But why is it that when you are in first year, it becomes very difficult for you to ask when you are attending lecturers? When you're attending classes, then you be like, they ask you, is everything okay? You'll be like, yes, but Nishi, you have not gotten anything. But that's normal. So the question is, we need to find the value of k. Now, we have got equal and opposite. The root that we have, there are two roots. Now, we have got equal, but they are opposite. Meaning that I have just gotten to say, if you want, you can say beta, but I've chosen alpha. So the other one is alpha, the other one is beta. So now in this case, because we're saying it's the same, they are equal and opposite. So it's alpha. Now the opposite of alpha is negative alpha. Hello? Does that make sense? Now, alpha plus beta is equal to negative b over a. Remember we said a is 3, b is in the brackets k minus 1. But beta in this case, it is negative alpha, because they're supposed to be 2. Beta in that case is negative alpha. So it is alpha plus negative alpha is equal to b is k minus 1. Then a is 3. So now this is alpha. Because of negative inside, is going to be minus alpha, like that. So if I open the bracket, I distribute negative inside there, it is negative. This is going to be negative k plus 1 divided by 3. Now alpha minus alpha is 0. So now we have got this. I hope now we are together. We are together, huh? Now we are crossing multiply, like we want to cross multiply at this point. Now I will divide here by 1. So if I cross multiply 1 times what I have on top here, I will have negative a k plus 1 is equal to 0 times 3 here. It is 0. So this is where I lost you. Not so. But you are now fine. You are now okay. Negative k is equal to negative 1. I've shifted 1 to the other side. So divide both sides by negative 1. Therefore, k is equal to positive 1. So you just plug in the values. Where there is k, put now the result for the equation will be 3x squared plus, where there is k, put 1. So that becomes 1 minus 1 x minus 2 is equal to 0. So that is 3x squared. This is going to be 0. So 0 times x, that becomes still 0. So you just leave it. So that becomes minus 2 is equal to 0. This is going to be the result. We are good to go. We now solve C. So do you know that this question is basically this question we are from solving? There is no difference between part B and E, because part B is saying you have got that has one root, the negative of the other. It's the same. Negative of the other is same as opposite of the other. So it's the same. So you said C, so I should leave C, we should solve A. So A is not difficult, because if the question A is saying x squared plus 4k x plus k plus 2 has one root. So when we're talking about one root, if I take you back, it just have one root. If I take you back, if they say it has got one root, then they're talking about discriminant. So this one you are going to use discriminant, the one for b squared minus 4ac. When you find the answer, you are going to find the value of k. You know that the a is 1, b is 4k, c is k plus that. So it's going to give you a quadratic equation. Then that quadratic equation, you need to find the value of k. Okay? So that value of k, I think, is going to be in surds. When you find that value of k, then you come back and replace the value of k to find that equation. But you should solve this and send me the answer. But I'm going to upload the video, because I've solved these, all of them already, so it's going to be easy for you to follow it. But let's solve C. Is that okay, madam? So C, the question is not difficult, because the part C is saying 4x squared minus 8kx plus 9 is equal to 0, has roots whose difference is 4. So what does it mean when you say has got roots? They are not saying, so the question roots, meaning that they are different. You get my point, right? We have got roots. There's a difference here. We were using 1, but here they are saying roots, meaning that they are two different things. So we have got is alpha minus beta. Now they are saying that the difference between those two roots which we are going to have, the difference is 4. That's the first statement that we have been given, not so. But what we know is the sum. So this is now the difference, which we have been already told. Now we also need to know the sum. So the sum is alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta is negative b over a. So now alpha plus beta, negative b is, so we have got negative 8, what is negative 8k. I don't know if you already you're already behind there. Then a is 4. So therefore that is going to be 8k divided by 4. So that is going to give me 2k. We are good to go there. That is the sum. Now let's find the product. How do we find the product? Alpha times beta is c over a. So alpha times beta is going to be, what is my c? My c is 9 divided by 4. So that is the product. Now you have learned some identities when it comes from the nature of these quadratic equation. Okay, so the identity that I want you to understand, that is the combination, the identity for the combination of the product, the sum, and the difference is given by this. There is a video that I explained, I derived this identity. I don't know if you managed to find it, but I believe if you have been watching my videos, I think you have come across this. So this identity, we use it if we have got the combination of the sum. You can clearly see that we have got it. This is the combination of the sum, the difference, and the product. We use this identity. Okay, so this is the identity we use. Now this identity, if you want to understand it more, there is a video that I explained. Okay, there's a video that I explained on how to derive these identity. Now you already have the sum, the difference, and the product. You just plug in the values and find the value of k. So alpha plus beta is 2k, but it is squared. Square it. Alpha minus beta is 4, but it is squared, so you square it. Plus 4, alpha times beta is 9 over 4. Mm-hmm. No, this equation that I'm using, have you ever come across what should I say? Have you ever come across, you can mute yourself, mute yourself, mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mm-hmm. Do you guys know how to drive these identities? Although they are not going to ask you to drive, you just need to know them. Do you understand that whenever you have got maybe they ask you to find this, you need first to expand this, not so? Isn't this the same as alpha minus beta, then alpha minus beta? So if I expand this, it's going to be alpha times alpha is alpha squared, then alpha times beta, that is alpha beta, minus alpha beta, then alpha beta times that is going to be that, also this, then minus, we have what, beta times beta is going to give me beta squared. Okay, now what I want you to understand is that when we have this, we have to rearrange this alpha squared, then this beta should be here, then minus alpha. Now if I add these two, they will give me 2 alpha beta. Who remembers an identity for alpha squared plus beta squared? Who remembers that identity? Hmm? You, yes, can you tell me? Mm-hmm. 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 Minus 2 alpha beta. So now we replace this part with what we have here. But remember, we also have this guy here. So I need to put this guy here. Now we can clearly see again that what we have here is alpha plus beta to the power 2 minus. So these ones you can add them. Okay, you can add them and you have this. Now remember, everything what we have here, we are expanding this guy. So we are expanding alpha minus beta raised to the power 2 is equal to alpha plus beta to the power 2 minus 4 alpha beta. So what I have done is I have shifted this guy to go to the other side. This is where this identity is coming from. It's a combination of the difference, the sum, and the product. So I've shifted negative 4 alpha beta to go to the other side. So now that becomes alpha plus beta to the power 2 plus 4 alpha beta is equal to alpha plus beta raised to the power 2. This is exactly what I've given you here. So we already have alpha minus beta, which is 4. Alpha plus beta we already have. Then alpha times beta we also have. So that's why I was telling you to say there are some videos on YouTube that we have explained on how to drive almost all the identities for alpha and beta. Just check them out, understand them better, but you don't have to know. If you can master the way this girl has told us to say, if you can know that alpha plus beta is equal to that, then that's fine. Okay, that's okay. Now someone is going to ask me a question to say, how did I know that I'm supposed to use this? For the fact that I have got alpha minus beta. So now I've got it's a difference, meaning that I need to have also alpha plus beta and also alpha times beta. It's an identity that I have to use when I have got 3 combination of the product, sum, and the difference. This is the identity that we use. In simple terms, this is the formula that we use. So now 2k squared is going to be 4k squared. This is 16. Then plus 4. 4 and 4 can cancel, not so. 4 and 4 can go, and I'll remain with 9. So what can we see? This plus this is 25. So we have 4k squared is equal to 25. What I can do now, I can shift 5 to go to the other side. I'll say 4k squared minus 25 is equal to 0. Now this I can use different of 2 squares, where I can say 2k minus 5 and also 2k plus 5 is equal to 0. So in simple terms, I can now shift 5 to go to the other side. The other one will be k is equal to 5 over 2, and the other one will be k is equal to negative 5 over 2. Who is behind? After finding the value of k, you need to go back and plug in the values and see the equation you're going to have. It's making sense, right? Very much. So are you tired, or you want us to continue? Me, I'm tired. So you can mute yourself. Let's solve this question. Mute yourself. Let's solve this question. So this question is saying, by the way, do you guys know that it is possible you can actually access these videos from our website? Because it's actually the same concept. Because for those who have who are already registered with us, I believe you can testify. These videos can help you a lot. They can help you to prepare for your test, exams. So like almost everything is there. So for those of us who doesn't have an account, I would advise you to create an account with Transcended so that you start learning at your own convenient time. You'll be able to learn and know a lot of things. Okay? Yeah, you'll be able to learn and know a lot of things. You'll be able to learn. So if you look at if you go to math, then you go on functions, you're going to see a lot of practice questions. Same applies to physics. If you want to learn physics for the upcoming test, you'll be able to see even the tutorial sheet are there. So if you look at the tutorial sheet for physics 101, they are here. So now I need to log in for me to see them. Go into throw sheet part, same with math, then you'll be able to see the throw sheet. These are the throw sheet. Okay, even the previous ones, even for this year, there is that throw sheet, the one for Newton's laws of motion. It's throw sheet what? Guys, the throw sheet for Newton's laws of motion is throw sheet what? Could be 6, huh? It's 5 because throw sheet. Okay. So I solved all of them. This is for work, energy, and power. Okay. So now you can register this. I think you have the number for. You can just go yourself on website. Then you can register without contacting anyone. But if you're going to have challenges, then you can contact the number for customer care. That is there in the group. If you don't have the number, I'm going to give you the number. Okay. I'm going to give you the number. So let's now talk about completing square method. Completing square method is one of the simplest subtopic of functions, where you need to know how to find the minimum, the maximum, the line of symmetry, the turning point, and also the intercept, as well as how to graph or how to sketch the graph. So the quadratic function is in a form of f of x is equal to ax plus bx plus c. If you find that, if you see the question, before you solve the question, if you find that a is less than 0, the graph is going to go like that. That graph is going to have what we call the maximum. If you discover that a is greater than 0, the graph will go in this manner, and the graph is going to have a minimum. Now I'm going to ask you a simple question. We have got this question here, part A, which is 2x squared minus 4x plus 5. Do you think a is greater than 0 or less than 0 from the question here? This is supposed to be squared. Yeah, it's greater than 0, meaning that our graph has to be in that manner, and we're going to have minimum. Okay, so now the question is, we need to find the line of symmetry. We sketch, we find even the minimum or maximum, the value of the function. So the value of the function, that is going to be the maximum or the minimum. Yes, yes. Yes, you can use that one to find, but in most cases they want you to use completing square method. That's what I've just discovered, because most of the students, when they use that other simple method, they give them less marks. Yes, so for you to be just on safe side, just use completing square method. Thank you. So how do we use completing square method? We find that here they have not said find the turning point, but I'm going to go ahead and find the turning point, meaning I'm not going to solve this question, meaning we have solved even this question. But this question is the same thing. They are saying complete the square method of each Chanchanuko, then find the turning point, the x and y intercept, sketch the graph. So it's the same thing. There's no difference. So we need first to factor out the a. Then we are dividing a with everything what we have here. So we are going to remain with x squared we are going to remain with x squared minus. Is it okay if I can start with part D? There's a reason why I want to start with part D. Then we come to part A. So part D, we have to rearrange it the way it is. We rearrange it, so it's going to be negative 3x squared minus 7x plus 3. So if I factor out -3, I'll remain with x squared. If I divide -3, I divide it here, I'll have positive. So I'll have positive 7 over 3x. I divide it with 3 there, I'll have -1. That's what I've done. The next step is you rewrite this, then you multiply this coefficient, which is 7 over x, you multiply it by half. So if I multiply that, you do plus, I multiply it by half, that is 7 over 6. When you do that, you square it. The same thing that you have, you do minus. This is what I was telling you to say. You should mute your mics because you are disturbing your friends. So I have no option but just to remove you. So when you do this, you do the same but you do minus. Who is behind? We know about this, right? So you have to ignore this part. For the fact that this is squared, this is also squared, let them to be together. Guys, mute your mics. Okay, I've removed that person because he's disturbing us. So we have minus 7 squared is 49. 6 squared is 36. Minus 1. At this point, if you want, you can open the brackets. But if you want, you can first simplify this. So what do? We are going to say 49 divided by 36 minus 1. So anything as long as there is 1 only here is the same as you divide it by 36 divided by 36. Because 36 over 36 is 1. Now the denominators are the same, add the numerators. So negative 49 minus 36, that should be 85. So it's negative 85 over 36. That's what you are going to have. So you have this minus 85 divided by 36. Now you can open the brackets. So if you open the brackets, you have negative 3 x plus 7 over 6. Then you square it minus. Now 3, negative and negative will give me plus. So 3 divided by 36, that is going to be what? 12. So you have 85 divided by 12. They are not asking about the turning point, but the turning point is you get the opposite of this guy in the brackets as your x, which is going to be negative 7 over 6, comma, this part. As it is, you don't change the sign the way it is. That is the turning point. Now, how do you find the line of symmetry? Line of symmetry, you get what is in the brackets only. That is x plus 7 over 6 is equal to 0. So for x is equal to negative 7 over 6. This is what we call line of symmetry. Now, how do you find whether this is maximum or minimum? We already said that a is greater than 0, so we have got what? The graph is going to be like that, so we have got minimum. So that minimum is this number here. That is the answer. So the minimum that we have, did we say it's minimum or maximum? This is another one, right? A is negative 3, which is less than 0. So the graph will go like that. We have got what? Maximum, right? So we have got maximum. So the maximum point that we have is 85 divided by 12. So we have found that. Now we need to sketch the graph. Yes. Exactly, yes. Then the number that is x on the turning point is always the line of symmetry. Yes. Then another thing, when you want to find, I want you guys to be smart enough. I don't want you to be wasting time when you want to find the turning point now. Remember, you already have 7 over 6 here squared plus 85 divided by 12. Now, when you have this part here, instead of you just doing everything, you are going to waste time. Equate this equal to 0. Shift this part to go to the other side. So you remain with, you shift this, so it's going to be negative 85 divided by what? 12. Then now what you do is you divide both sides by the number which is outside the brackets here. Okay? So if I do that, I'm going to have now x plus 7 over 6. I square it is equal to negative 85 divided by, so now I've got negative 3 times what? Times 12, which is 36. Which is negative 36. So negative and negative will definitely cancel. So I'll have now x plus 7 over 6. Then I square it. That should be equal to 85 over 36. What happens? Now, another thing that I want you to know is you can now square both sides. The moment you square this side and this side, then you add this part plus or minus. Okay? So you remain with x plus, now this 2 and the square root will go. 7 over 6 should be equal to plus or minus the square root of, now here the square root of 85 we don't have. It's going to give us the one for the points, but we don't use the calculator. The square root of 36 is 6. You have that. Now shift this guy to go to the other side. But if you feel like this is going to be difficult for you, then you can use the normal way, the one you know. So x will be equal to negative 7 over 6 plus or minus the square root of 85 divided by 6. In most cases, you are going to find out that this guy and this guy, they are going to be the same. So that becomes x to be equal to negative 7 plus root of 85, then you divide it by 6 because they are the same. Or another value of x will be the same one, but here you put minus 85 divided by 6. So these are the values of x. So these are the x-intercept. When y is 0, x, the values of x are going to give us that. Now if the y-intercept is the number that doesn't have x, so in that case it's 3. After finding everything, now you can go ahead and sketch your graph. So you just sketch this. Direct. The line of symmetry, we said, is the x value. That value is always in between the other x and the other x. So this x, if you look at this, is a negative. If we find the square root of this, it's going to give us still negative. I'll put it here, which is negative 7 minus root of 85 divided by 6. Now, this number is smaller than negative 7 over 6. So that negative 7 over 6, I'll put it here. Then this is going to give me positive if I express this. So that one is going to be negative 7 plus root of 85 divided by 6. Now the maximum, we said the minimum, right? The maximum is there. So you put it on top here. I'll put it on top here, which is 85 divided by 12. Now, the y-intercept is at 3. That's where the graph is going to cut in y-axis. So it has to cut there. Let me use a different color. It has to cut there. When it reaches there, it has to 10. It reaches there, it has to 10. It has to cut this point. It has to cut that point. So like we said, it will come here. When it reaches there, then it turns. That's why we call that a turning point. It's a point where the graph, when it reaches there, it will turn. A line of symmetry, you put a dotted line like that. That is negative 7 over 6 comma 85 over 12, like that. That's how we sketch. At this point I can declare that I'm now tired. But what I want to mention is I think you are going to see all the solutions for these questions. Just register and then I'll be able to upload them, so you'll be able to access them. So I said I'm going to give you the number. Now this number you don't have to call it, but you have to text this number on WhatsApp. Does that make sense? So if you're going to call this number, then you're not going to, it's going to be off. Even now it's off, but you only need to text it. But if you want to call, I'll give you the number that you have to use. So on WhatsApp you can get in touch with us using this number, +260979 5800 then 334. This is only for WhatsApp. Then if you want to call, you can use this number, +2626 0767 729927. This is just for calls. Okay, so register with Transcended and you're going to be helped. So this is what I had for you today. Yeah, so we can end here for today unless you have got questions.